Hi, I'm Lauren Gray. This is MVTV, and you are in the right place if you want to understand the opposite sex, improve your relationship, and grow in love. And if you're wondering about boundaries in romantic relationships, how to set them, what to do if your partner responds negatively, this episode is for you. Today's question comes from Stefania, and she writes, Lauren, how do I set a boundary in my relationship? And what do I do when I get a negative reaction? Setting a boundary takes courage, sometimes more courage than you feel you have in a moment. But the real motivator for me to dig deep and have courage in my relationship is that boundaries are key to intimacy. You can't have one without the other. So before we dive into the how-tos, which we will, let's explore what stops us from setting boundaries in our relationships. Boundary blockers: fear of being rejected and or left, fear of upsetting your partner, fear of hearing the word no. Now let's explore how these boundary blockers are actually intimacy blockers. This gives us the motivation we need to use new communication skills to set a boundary even when it feels scary. Fear of being rejected and or left. If you don't ask for your needs to be met, you'll never know if he can meet your needs. Setting boundaries and making requests in relationships is a door you have to walk through in order to see if he's capable of being your special someone. Otherwise, you're just taking what you can get, taking what's offered, taking what's convenient for him to give when it's convenient for him to give it. When you date without boundaries, you're not even giving the relationship a chance. Your fear of rejection is keeping you from starting an intimate relationship. Fear of upsetting your partner. In the beginning of the dating process, it's about putting your best foot forward and seeing if you like each other at your very best. Relationships aren't meant to be bought off the rack, they're meant to be customized. After the first few dates, it's about customizing your relationship to what you want and need. You do this through setting boundaries and making requests. Trust that while you're tailoring, you're going to accidentally prick each other with some sharp pins. Someone might say, ouch. That's an opportunity to learn more about each other and improve communication. Accidentally triggering each other is an inevitable truth of customizing your relationship and growing in intimacy. If you stay in a people-pleaser role, then you're not being true to who you are. Intimacy equals into me see. If you're not even on the table, how is he supposed to see you to love you? Fear of hearing the word no. No feels dangerous until you start saying it. We walk around on eggshells dreading the word no because of false beliefs around it. Like, if they're saying no, then they must be mad at us. They think we're greedy. They think we don't deserve it, etc. Once you start saying no, you realize it's not about the other person. It's about you and your capacity to give in that moment. Plus, if you're in a relationship, you better get cozy with the word no. Yes, the very nature of consent, of receiving love, of opening up to your partner, of being vulnerable and intimate, doesn't mean much if you and your partner don't feel free and easy about saying no. How can yes mean anything if you're not allowed to say no? Hopefully I've shown you, or at least validated for you, that boundaries in relationships are essential for intimacy to exist. You can't have one without the other. Now let's look at how to set a boundary. First of all, respect, honesty, better listening are all uncooked boundaries, as in they're not ready to go out to the diner. They are ideals and needs, but not yet in a form a man can hear it and take action to be successful. And unless he hears it and can take action to be successful, then communicating these uncooked boundaries is really an exercise of cathartic complaining. This is a great activity to do with your friends over a cup of tea. It's not a productive activity in your romantic relationship. So, how do you effectively set boundaries in relationships? A request! A man can hear a request because it's not a criticism of how he's done things up till now. It's a request for how to please you in the future. A man can take action to be successful with a request because it's actionable. It's a specific request. The more specific, the easier he can succeed at it. The more he succeeds, the more testosterone is produced, the more addicted he gets to pleasing you. Sounds pretty great, right? Hormones. Powerful stuff. Here's the formula I invite you to use. Journal these 3 steps and write them out. Step 1, I don't like or I don't want. Step 2, I'd like or I want. Step 3, this is where we convert into a request. I'd love and or would you. Check out the post for 3 concrete examples where I use this formula to create 3 fully cooked boundaries you can use and emulate in your relationship. But Lauren, what if he has a negative reaction? He might. He totally might. He probably won't, but depending on the day he's had or the particular button you've pressed, he might. It's the fear of the unknown that's scary, so let's explore the 3 main negative reactions a man will have to a boundary request. Immediate anger, defensiveness. Mockery, put-downs. Pouting, moping, taking it personally. Now let's look at what to do in these circumstances so you're prepared with a conscious response and you're not just fear reacting to his reaction. Immediate anger, defensiveness. He's stuck in a fear response and will only fight if engaged. Walk away. Come back and approach it later like it's the first time. He needs cave time to come back to his senses. Mockery, put-downs. Oy vey, he's triggered and not thinking clearly. Straighten your spine, puff out your chest, and say calmly, speaking to me like that is not okay. I'll give you space and we can discuss this later when you're ready to speak kindly to me. Be calm, be cool, and do not second guess yourself. Walk away. If he's resorted to the communication style of monkey brain throwing feces, you're not going to have a productive conversation. So let him go to his cave and try again later. Pouting, moping, taking it personally. Use buffers. If he's moping, you can try buffers such as, this isn't about you doing something bad, it's about my need for independence, space, self-expression, reassurance, understanding, predictability, whatever it is. The main thing is, don't get sucked up into this one too deep. Ultimately, you're a partner, not a mother, and it's not your job to take care of his feelings. It's your job to communicate your needs to him in the most loving and considerate way you can. Beyond that, walk away. When in doubt, walk away and go do something nice for yourself. Do not judge the success of your boundary setting on his reaction. His reaction is a result of his life experience and his own insecurities about the relationship and his capacity to make you happy. Don't even go down that road. It's not yours to travel. Depending on your previous experience with boundaries in relationships, if you've just set a boundary, you probably just climbed Mount Everest and deserve a celebration. Go do something nice for yourself. If applying these tools today feels hard, there's nothing wrong with you. Setting a boundary is like the tip of an iceberg. It's that tiny thing you see on top. It looks small, but if you walk up to it and try lifting it, it's probably going to be too heavy. That's normal. But it's also why I created a 6-week online course for women to learn how to get the love they want using a system called You, We, Me Time. This system uses classic Mars-Venus principles, clear communication tools, and new research on hormones and gender differences to set you up for success. The boundary lift gets a lot easier once you've mastered the skills of the You, We, Me Time system. Check out my program to learn the tools and develop the strength to create a relationship custom-made for you. Did you like this video? Please use the social sharing buttons and share it with your friends. Love is natural. We're built to love, but creating our dream relationship is something we learn. So keep learning. Hold compassion in your heart and worthiness in your being, because you deserve a great relationship. If you're ready for the love of your life, visit me at marsvenus.com and sign up for email updates. You'll get instant access to our sensational free course, How to Get Everything You Want in Relationships. You'll also get exclusive content, special offers, and personal insights from me that I only share in email. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on MVTV. Sorry, I licked my lips. That was like if I was a vampire, I'd be like, okay, but I'm not. This is daytime, obviously. That's okay. I'm nimble. I'm a cat. I'm in my cat costume, so I'm really nimble. I don't know how to make those sounds. It just sounds like phlegm.